Welcome back. Are we ready to convene? Can I get a present? Board President Jackson?
Present.
Ken Marlborough?
Present.
Dolores Trujillo?
Present.
Elizabeth Woods?
Present.
Imelda Seha-Bukowitz?
Present.
Karen Skelton? Mary Fagan?
Present.
I believe 6 is well enough for a quorum. Is that okay? Thank you.
Continue on. We're moving on to item 11.0, the report of the Enforcement Intervention Committee. We'll turn it over to the chairperson, Imelda Seha-Bukowitz.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I had to unmute myself. This is for information only. And I believe we have the DOI presenting.
Sorry, 1 second. Shannon?
Yes, I'm here.
Shannon, are you going to present on the 11.1?
Yeah, I'm going to do 11.1 and Scarlett is going to do 11.1.1 and then I'm going to be doing 11.2. DFI presented at the committee meeting, will not be presenting today at the board.
Whenever you're ready, Shannon.
I think Imelda may want to open it up with,
Sorry.
do you want me to go ahead and start, Imelda, or do you need to open that?
Yeah, I thought I just did. So agenda item 11.1. This is for information only.
Okay. So I will be presenting 11.1. I'm Shannon Johnson, the Deputy Chief of Enforcement for the BRN. And I am going to start with complaint intake. The complaint intake unit is working closely with the licensing division to ensure the applicant case electronic business processes are streamlined. Our goal is to ensure that the applicant cases requiring enforcement review are processed without any delays. We've implemented an email portal, which is the brn.ab2138@dca.ca.gov, specifically designated for inquiries related to the Assembly Bill 2138. This portal is designed to be a central point of contact for students who have questions pertaining to criminal convictions as it relates to AB 2138. And students will receive direct and timely responses to their questions pertaining to that bill. Complaint intake managers from BRN met with the complaint intake managers and the Deputy Chief of Enforcement at the Board of Vocational Nursing and Psychiatric Technicians to discuss, collaborate, and exchange information on various business processes. And this was very positive interaction. We have agreed to continue meeting on a quarterly basis to further strengthen the relationships between the boards. Investigations coordinated 2 BREEZE training sessions with our internal subject matter expert and the Division of Investigation. DFI staff will now be able to navigate the BREEZE record and applicable areas needed when investigating a registered nurse. The training was well received, and it's decided it would be continued on a quarterly basis for new incoming investigation staff. Investigations management staff continue to work with external stakeholders to streamline processes for case investigations to improve case completion timelines. We've been working with all attorneys involved in the cases to eliminate the need to issue subpoenas for records. In discipline, all of the AG offices statewide are now up and running to receive new case transmittals through the file exchange server that they have created. This system is named DOJ File Exchange, and it allows client agencies to quickly send new case referrals and other large files directly to the AG's office without using either hard copy mail or email. And some of the benefits are that each file transfer can handle up to 50 gigs, so that thousands of pages can be transferred in less than a minute. It allows for the transfer of many file types, including PDF files, images, videos, and audio files. And the sender receives an automatic email indicating that the file has been received. They don't have to mail us hard copies of the case referrals, and it should reduce or eliminate mailing expenses for BRN and also speed up the initial case processing time. The discipline unit is also fully staffed as the vacant office technician position has been filled. So we have no vacancies right now between the discipline, probation, and intervention units. Probation unit has completed a redistribution of caseloads among the analysts and support staff. The goal is to ensure that more complex cases are kept with the senior analyst. The probation unit has begun meeting with nursing education consultants to streamline the employment approval process and the course assignment process for all of the probationary nurses. And this will allow us to track these processes through Breeze for reporting purposes later on. Maximus conducted our first ever training for nurse support group facilitators. The probation managers and intervention manager assisted in this training, which was the first in a series of 2. We've actually completed the second one as well just last week. This training focused on referral process, program requirements for participants, and nurse support group facilitators. Intervention is actively recruiting intervention evaluation committee members. We've collaborated with the department's publications, design, and editing team to create social media, online flyers, and program staff has also sent out mailers to over 172 psychiatrists with expertise in the field of addiction medicine. Also attached to 9.1 is the statistic comparison from quarter 1 of fiscal year 1920 compared to fiscal year 2021. Are there any questions on 9.1?
Jan, this is Mary Fagan. Thank you for this report. Do we have any updated statistics on where we are in terms of the processing time to close cases?
Yes, I do have statistics on the time to close, and we actually are down to, the last I checked, we're down to 20 months. So we're getting very close to that 18 months of the CPEI guidelines.
Great. Is that something that can be included in the materials on a regular basis?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Also, I just wanted to address in the previous meeting, I believe it was you that had asked if I could get some statistics from Texas, Florida, and New York, as they are comparable to California as far as licensure. And I'm still trying to get those. So I just want you to know I haven't forgot about that. I am still trying to get those numbers. It's just not been very easy to obtain those from the other states.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
If there's no other questions, I'm going to turn it over to Scarlett so she can go over 9.1.1.
I have a question. This is Imelda.
Yeah.
Regarding
You mean 11.1.1, right?
I'm sorry, 11.1.1.
Okay. So I have a question regarding AB 2138.
Yes.
So maybe down the road you can report us to, how many, in the past we would have helped some of those applicants or, helped some of the newly licensed. Maybe we can track as to, because of AB 2138, how many more are being processed?
Yeah, it would be interesting. I know we're looking at right now how many applicants are being approved as opposed to being denied based on AB 2138, as well as it would be nice to know later down the line how many of those cases come back to us in subsequent complaints.
I think that would be great to track that and report back to us. I mean, because if need to, we could always go back to legislators, the assembly, and maybe remodify that 2138. But again,
right, we are definitely.
Thank you.
We are definitely looking at that, Imelda. So I will turn it over to Scarlett for 9.1.1.
Go ahead, Scarlett. Scarlett.
If we're having problems with Scarlett's microphone, I can go ahead and cover 9.1, or excuse me, 11.1.1.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay.
Jen.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and do that. So 9.1.1, it's the Dfi Brn Pilot update. And Dfi and BRN continue to follow the one-year pilot program initiated on September 2019 that changed the case referral guidelines for urgent priority quality of care complaints alleging significant patient harm and/or patient death. The pilot was reviewed, updated, and submitted for a continuation through December 2021. As of October 27th, 2020, there have been 119 cases submitted for BRN investigation that meet the new case referral guidelines, and to date, 73 of them have been completed and 46 are still pending. And that's all for 11.1.1.
I would like the report to include how many cases are with a DOI.
How many? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we have
how many total? How many total, Imelda?
Right. So you reported as to how many that we have. Right. We have 119 cases that have submitted to the BRN for investigation, and to date, 73 have been completed and 46 are pending. Can we also report on the DOI? What is their caseload and how many they've completed?
Okay, we can include that in there. So basically what we would be reporting is how many cases total they have, how many they've referred to us, how many they continue to have pending, how many they've completed, and how many we've completed. Is that accurate?
Right, because that was the whole idea of this whole pilot project, is that, we hopefully retain more and they have less, hopefully, and that the processing time. Right?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
We can include that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions on 11.1.1 before I move on to 11.2?
Board members, do you have any other questions, concerns? Anything else you would like to see on this report? Okay. If not, let's go ahead and move on.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to agenda item 11.2. It is discussion and action regarding the appointment of our Intervention Evaluation Committee members. We have 2 that were discussed at committee, and it was approved to move on to board for vote. The first is Dr. Sapita Moayed. He's a physician member. IEC location is 7 out of San Jose. It would be a new appointment, and the term expiration would be June 30th, 2022. The second is Ruth Anderson, which is a public member out of IEC 2 in Fairfield, and this is also a new appointment, and the term expiration date would be June 30, 2024.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve.
I make a motion. I second your motion.
Are there any comments from board members? Okay, let's go ahead and open it to public comments.
We will be opening for public comment now. I will be activating the question and answer feature. Please refer to the screen share for members of the public to see how they should type in their request for comment. I've activated the question and answer feature. Members of the public can indicate that they would like to make a comment by typing into the question box, "I would like to make a comment." Please remember, you will have 2 minutes to make your comments. I will not give a reminder as your time approaches. I do not want to interrupt you nor cause you to lose your train of thought. I will mute your microphone and inform you that your time has expired, and we'll move on to the next member of the public. I'll pause for a moment for members of the public to type in, "I would like to make a comment." Chairperson Sehabakowitz, there are no public requests for comment. Would you like me to close the window?
Yes, please close the window. Okay, I call for the vote. This is for 11.2 to approve appointment of the Intervention Evaluation Committee new members. Imelda Sehabakowitz votes yes. Moderator, you can please do roll call.
Board President Jackson,
Michael Jackson votes yes.
Ken Marlborough,
Marlboro, yes.
Dolores Trujillo,
Dolores, yes.
Elizabeth Woods,
Woods, yes.
Karen Skelton, Mary Fagan.
Fagan, yes.
Thank you. We have our vote.
That concludes our report for the Enforcement Intervention Committee. Shannon, thank you very much. Moving along to 12.0.
Before we move on to 12.0, it's been requested that we reorder the agenda and allow 12.3 to go ahead because of scheduling conflicts. So we'll do 12.3 first, and then we'll turn it over to Chairperson Dolores Trujillo.
So is Danelle Rogers available? This is Dolores.
Did you say Danelle or Janelle?
D-A-N, Danelle.
Danny Rogers?
Danny Rogers. Yes, please. Thank you, Mark.
Danny Rogers, your mic is unmuted.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Danny Rogers, Regulations Counsel to the Board. 12.3 relates to two separate packages. One is for 1423 and 1432 of Title 16 of the CC&R, and the second is 16 CC&R 1427. The amendment at issue in the first package is to 1432, and 1432 in general contains requirements for nursing programs making changes to a program. And new in this proposal is subdivision B3, which provides a form for a program to fill out when they are adding a new campus or location. And the text is attached. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them before it is moved to the board for approval.
As Board Member Jackson, I make a recommendation that we accept and approve it.
It's Ken Marlboro. I'll second it.
I was going to second it, but thanks, Ken. Do we ask for public comment at this point?
Yes.
Okay. BRN moderator, can we open it up for public comment, please?
We will be opening for public comment now. I will be activating the question and answer feature. Please refer to the screen share for the members of the public to see how they should type in the request for comment. I've activated the question and answer feature. Members of the public can indicate that they would like to make a comment by typing into the question box, "I would like to make a comment." Please remember you will have 2 minutes to make your comments. I will not give a reminder as your time approaches. I do not want to interrupt you nor cause you to lose your train of thought. I will mute your microphone and inform you that your time has expired, and we'll move on to the next member of the public. I'll pause for a moment for members of the public to type in, "I would like to make a comment." Chairperson Trujillo, there are no requests for public comment. Would you like me to close the window?
Yes, thank you. Are there any board comments to these changes? No board comment? Questions? Okay, this is Dolores Trujillo. I want to make a call for the vote.
What are we voting on?
So I want to make a motion to,
The motion's already been made. We're just accepting the vote.
so BRN moderator, we go down the list with the names, please.
Please, Board President Jackson,
Michael Jackson votes yes.
Ken Marlborough,
Marlboro votes yes.
Dolores Trujillo,
Dolores votes yes.
Elizabeth Woods,
Woods, yes.
Imelda Sehabakowitz,
Sinha Batwitz, yes.
Karen Skelton, Mary Fagan.
Mary Fagan, yes.
Thank you. We have our vote.
Thank you. We need, can we please go back to agenda item 12.1? Is Thelma Harris present?
Thelma?
Is
Thelma, are you here?
Hello, Thelma? Okay,
Thelma has let me know that she is on.
okay. Thelma, this is Dolores. Can you report out on the legislative bills and the work of the legislative committee?
I am checking with her right now to see if she can unmute. Mark, are you able to help her unmute?
She is unmuted.
Okay.
Thelma? Imelda, are you in contact with?
Hello?
Hello?
There
Thelma?
she is.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
We can now.
Yes. Thank you. Wow, don't know why this happens. Thank you. Yes, this is Thelma Harris. I'm Chief of Legislation for the Board of Registered Nursing. And in reference to, we're at 12.1, the discussion of bills of interest to the Board of Registered Nursing and possible vote to recommend that the board adopt or modify on these bills that were introduced during the 2019-2020 legislative session. There were 3 bills that were our priority bills for this legislative session, and the legislative committee has tracked these bills all the way to the point of being signed and now are chaptered into law, into statute, so they are law. And the first bill that I'd like to bring to your attention is Assembly Bill 890. That's with Assembly Member Wood, and this bill is in reference to nurse practitioners. It has now been signed into law. Assembly Bill 2288, Assembly Member Lowe. That's in reference to nursing programs and clinical hours. This bill has also been signed into law. And Senate Bill 1237, that's Senator Dodd. That's in reference to the nurse midwives and the scope of practice. All other bills have either died because of the session and COVID and different things that were happening, but our 3 priority bills have been signed into law. Are there any questions?
Now, Thelma, is it ended? Bill 890 does not go into effect until January 1st, 2023.
Assembly Bill 890, all of the bills have a start date of January 1, except Assembly Bill 2288, which had an urgency clause, and it was put into effect and implemented within 30 days of the time that it was signed. And so we are in the implementation phase of AB 2288. AB 890, which is the nurse practitioners bill, does have a effective date of January 1. However, within the bill, there's language that has to go through the regulatory process. And there's also a start date for some of the language that will begin in 2023. Are there other questions about those bills? Hello?
Board member? Okay, do we open it up for this point?
We will be opening for public comment now. I will be activating the.
BRN
Yes.
moderator, before
Yes.
you open up for public comment, can we open it, Danny Rogers' mic back open, please?
1 second. Go ahead, Danny.
Hi again, everyone. This is Danny Rogers. I just wanted to clarify that the motion made as directed to the regulatory item at 12.3 included approval and voting on section 1427. I only presented 1423 and 1432, so I wanted to make sure that the board's vote also encompassed 1427. Could you clarify?
I was voting to include the entire package of 12.3.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that board members had an adequate opportunity to ask questions about 1427 if they had any questions.
Yeah, I understood it to be the whole package.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Danny. BRN moderator, can we have public comment, please?
We will be opening for public comment now. I will be activating the question and answer feature. Please refer to the screen share for members of the public to see how they should type in their request for comment. I've activated the question and answer feature. Members of the public can indicate that they would like to make a comment by typing into the question box, "I would like to make a comment." Please remember, you will have 2 minutes to make your comments. I will not give a reminder as your time approaches. I do not want to interrupt you nor cause you to lose your train of thought. I will mute your microphone and inform you that your time has expired, and we'll move on to the next member of the public. I'll pause for a moment for members of the public to type in, "I would like to make a comment." Patricia Gurney would like to make a comment. 1 second. Patricia, your mic is unmuted.
Hello, thank you so much for the opportunity to make a comment. Just a clarification for the provisions of AB 890. The bill goes into effect January 1, 2020. There is a portion of the provisions of the bill recognizing that for the 104 category, the new category of independent practice nurse practitioners, that piece required some time to go into effect, and so that was the 2023 date that was put into effect. Also recognizing that, of course, there's a regulatory process that needs to happen for the rest of the bill, but the rest of the bill is not definitely our understanding and working with the legislators' intent of the bill wasn't to delay any of the other aspects of the bill out until that date. So just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Chairperson Trujillo, we have no more requests for public comment. Would you like me to close the window?
Please close the window. Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item 12.2. This is Sunset Review Oversight Hearing, and this is Thelma. Can you present this?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes, I will be presenting on the Sunset Review Oversight process. In your package, you should have some of the information, but I'd like to just briefly go over what is the Sunset Review Oversight. It's actually conducted by the Senate Committee on Business Professions and Economic Development and the Assembly Committee on Business and Profession. It's the two committees that will come together. It's a comprehensive process, and it will allow the legislature to review the laws and the regulations that pertain to each board. So specifically, I'm talking about our board, the Board of Registered Nursing. At this time, they will evaluate the board's programs and policies and determine whether the board operates and enforces its regulatory responsibilities and is carrying out statutory duties. They will also examine the fiscal management practices, financial relationships with other agencies, and through this Sunset Review Oversight, this board will be evaluated on key performance measures and targets related to the timeliness of action, enforcement, and other necessary efforts to serve the needs of California consumers while promoting regulatory efficiency and effectiveness. So the last full Sunset Review for the Board of Registered Nursing was completed in 2014. The BRN was given 2 years instead of 4 years for a new Sunset Review. In 2016, the BRN was granted 4 years for the next Sunset Review, which would be 2020. So at this point, BRN staff are responding to questions that we have received by the legislature. These responses will be compiled into a report and brought before the board for approval prior to the deadline date of submission, which is January 4, 2021. We are scheduled for a hearing during 2021. However, the legislative calendar for 2021 has not been released, so those dates for the actual hearing are unknown at this time. Also, we are not sure as to whether or not it will be in person due to COVID, or if it will be in a situation such as we have now, which would be possibly a WebEx. The process for the Sunset Review Oversight is that the completed report is submitted to the Sunset Review Oversight Committee. The staff will prepare a background paper, and that will include recommendations, necessary statutory changes, regulatory changes, and administrative and operational changes and other reforms. Once the staff will reach out to the BRN staff, the staff from the Sunset Review will reach out to BRN staff and work together to provide a fact check to assure that nothing is missing. A series of questions will be identified for designated BRN staff to address during the hearing. The hearing could possibly be remote again due to COVID-19. However, it will be the executive officer and the board president who will participate in the hearing representing BRN. The public, legislature, and the board will address BRN's programs and policies. The BRN will have 30 days to respond to issues during the hearing. These written responses will require full approval by the board. The Sunset Bill will be introduced by the legislature, incorporating the outcomes of the hearing and providing direction for the BRN. This concludes my information of the Sunset Review Oversight hearing. Are there any questions?
This is Ken Marlborough. I do have one question. Our information is due January 4th. And this might be more of a question to Michael Jackson. Do you anticipate any special meetings? Since I don't think we have a scheduled meeting in December. Do you anticipate we may have to have a special meeting in order to address this review process?
The review process is usually conducted by the information provided is provided by the staff normally, but we do have a special board meeting coming up December 17th also.
Okay. Oh, okay. Great. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board members? BRN moderator, can we open it up to public comment?
We will be opening for public comment now. I will be activating the question and answer feature. Please refer to the screen share for members of the public to see how they should type in the request for comment. I've activated the question and answer feature. Members of the public can indicate that they would like to make a comment by typing into the question box, "I would like to make a comment." Please remember, you will have 2 minutes to make your comment. I will not give a reminder as your time approaches. I do not want to interrupt you nor cause you to lose your train of thought. I will mute your microphone and inform you that your time is expired, and we'll move on to the next member of the public. I'll pause for a moment for members of the public to type in, "I would like to make a comment." Chairperson Trujillo, nobody has indicated they would like to make a comment. Would you like me to close the window?
Yes, thank you. Close the window. As this was information only, I don't believe there's any action that's required. President Jackson, can you comment on that?
No, there's no action required.
All right, thank you. I believe that concludes the report out for the Legislative Committee.
We still have agenda items 13 and 14, Dolores.
Okay, Thelma?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay,
You get to hear me some more.
no problem.
Yes, so 13.0 is discussion and possible action regarding implementation of Assembly Bill 890 that has been signed into law. What we've had pretty much a robust discussion throughout the day at times from speakers, from stakeholders, and from many other people who worked very hard to bring this bill into fruition. Also, from a BRN's perspective, we've had our nurse education consultants' input on the implementation of this, and we've looked at it very closely to make sure that we're able to successfully implement this bill and work with our stakeholders. One of the things that's really important for us to realize, and it was brought up quite a bit earlier today, is that BRN staff will work with the stakeholders to establish the Nurse Practitioner Advisory Committee. And as is stated in statute, this committee is to advise and give recommendations to the board on matters relating to nurse practitioners. And this will also include working on the regulatory language, which will also be approved by the board. So there are many steps that will have to go into place before the full implementation actually happens. The next steps at this point, first and foremost, are to get the applications out, to receive the information that we need back to the board so that the committee members can be appointed, and then to work with the newly appointed committee along with the Board of Registered Nursing and the Department of Consumer Affairs legal staff to develop the regulation language. Once this language has been developed and the suggestions and the guidelines will be brought to the board for approval. Once the regulation language is approved by the board, then BRN and DCA staff will prepare a regulatory package. And this package goes through a process, and the whole process is quite detailed, but basically what happens is that it must be approved by the Department of Consumer Affairs and also by the Business Consumer Services and Housing Agency before it is being submitted to the Office of Administrative Law, known as OAL. OAL will complete the process for the promulgation of the regulations. In your package, you have the entire regulatory process, which can be quite detailed. And I just spoke it to you probably in less than a minute, but it actually goes back and forth because there are a lot of things that have to be taken into consideration. I think the focus that I would like for everyone to realize that for both of these bills, I'm speaking of Assembly Bill 890 and also Senate Bill 1237, that the stakeholders will be involved in every step of implementing this bill. So as far as 890 is concerned, and I know it was brought, it was spoken to the fact that, yes, it does have implementation dates for Assembly Bill 890 that referenced 2023. However, there are other components that will be worked on, and the committees will be working again with the BRN staff and DCA Legal to make sure that this implementation is done in a way that will benefit everyone concerned. As far as, any questions on AB 890 before I move to the next one?
Yes, Thelma, this is Elizabeth Woods. I do have questions about it. So putting that all together is going to take quite a task. And when will it again be presented to the board, to our board members?
Yes, okay, so Betty, are you asking me when will the entire regulatory package or specifically?
Will we be updated along the line as to what's happening with it or what?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the goals that is being worked on to be completed with this committee, this Nurse Practitioners Advisory Committee, is that the committee will be scheduled for meetings that coincide with board meetings. So at each board meeting and committee meeting, there will be updates that you will receive as to what is going on. The committees will go through the nursing practice committees, which is your committee. Yes. And then that information will go to the full board. So yes, every step will definitely be open and transparent. There will not be any backroom meetings of deciding how to do things. And it should be, I mean, when I look at it, I feel like it's going to be a really flawless way of implementing this, because we're going to have all of the interested parties at the table. It does not fall into the hands of BRN staff or to the stakeholders. This involves everyone being at the table.
Okay. And how is it going to be advertised to get people on the committee?
Yes.
Nurse practitioner.
So what is happening is that once the applications are completed, which I think they're probably close to being completed, Lori would have to jump in and say that the applications will go.
Thelma, right now, the applications have been emailed out to our listserv, both for the NP and the CNM committees. It is also up on our website underneath the advisory ad hoc committees and work groups. And currently, Macaulay Fusarins has received 7 NP advisory committee applicants as of today.
Okay, thank you.
And so Betty, you know, this is also to.
Is the application up on the board's website already?
Yes, it is, Michael. It's under the section that says advisory/ad hoc committees and work groups. If you go to the right search button up on top, just type in advisory committees. It will take you to the page. It's right across the very top. I believe it is also underneath our What's New section. On the very homepage, it says, be a part of transforming California nursing and apply to be an advisory committee member today. You can click on that and get to that. Additionally, it was sent out to every single nurse practitioner licensee and every single certified nurse midwife licensee.
And it's also shared with our stakeholders, with the medical board, with the osteopathic board, and also encouraging them to utilize this to their listservs. And we're also using our social media to let people know that these applications are available.
Thelma?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, you kind of faded out, so.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
still here.
Okay.
Thanks, Thelma. That was my question.
So that's in reference to Assembly Bill 890. And the next discussion and possible action is regarding that's 14.0, the implementation of Senate Bill 1237. This is in reference to the nurse midwives. So the nurse midwives have had a committee in statute previous to this bill being passed. But this new committee will now be a reflection of what is in statute that will include the listed members of the committee, which are basically a mirror of what we see in AB 890. And again, it will be the same process. There will be the applications will go out to the designated people from the listserv that we talked about, reaching out to all of our stakeholders. We really want to make sure that people who are interested will apply and be a part of it. And even if people aren't chosen or approved by the board, I say approved by the board to be on the committee, those committees are open to the public. So the public input will always be involved in the work that's being done. So the Nurse Midwifery Advisory Committee will facilitate all of the any issues that deal with guidance for disciplinary actions, and also, again, working with BRN, Department of Consumer Affairs legal staff to develop the regulation language. This language, again, must be approved by the board, just as we approved the regulatory package earlier today. And then this language then would go back to the staff to prepare the package that then needs to be approved and goes to Office of Administrative Law. So this would be the process of implementing both of these bills. And we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of work. And we're looking forward more so in the fact that it's going to be a transparent process that will involve all of the interested parties. Again, I cannot emphasize the hard work that people have done from both sides to get these bills to the point that they are law. And we want to make sure that we're able to implement everything that is needed. These applications, again, will be shared on social media. And Lori just told us that it is on our website. So we're looking forward to getting a great cross-section of people who are interested in working together. What are your questions?
Board members, do you have any questions or comment?
This is Betty again. That was very helpful, Thelma. Bringing that all together and how that's all going to be implemented.
Thank you. You have the detailed implementation guidance in your packet.
Right.
Any further comment or questions from board members? Okay, BRN moderator, can we open it up for public comments?
We will be opening for public comment now. I will be activating the question and answer feature. Please refer to the screen share for members of the public to see how they should type in their request for comment. I've activated the question and answer feature. Members of the public can indicate that they would like to make a comment by typing into the question box, "I would like to make a comment." Please remember, you will have 2 minutes to make your comments. I will not give you a reminder as your time approaches, nor will I cause you to, as your time approaches, I do not want to interrupt you nor cause you to lose your train of thought. I will mute your microphone and inform you that your time has expired, and we'll move on to the next member of the public. I'll pause for a moment for members of the public to type in, "I would like to make a comment." Katrina Reyes would like to comment. 1 second. Katrina, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Katrina Reyes with the California Academy of Family Physicians. I just wanted to comment on the update on AB 890, and I just wanted to thank the board and the BRN staff for the assurances that there will be engagement with stakeholders. So we do look forward to working with the BRN staff and the board, as well as other stakeholders on the implementation of AB 890 and the regulatory process, as well as in the formation of the advisory committee. Thank you so much.
Alyssa Brown would like to make a comment. Alyssa, go ahead.
Thank you. Alyssa Brown. I'm a clinical nurse specialist. I'm on the APRN advisory committee. I just have a question, and I may have missed this, so forgive me. There's something in the process about a 45-day public comment period. Could you address that, please? Thank you.
Can I respond to her? Sorry.
Yes, Thelma, you're able to respond.
Yes, that is part of the regulatory rulemaking process. And once the agencies review and approve the initial rulemaking package, there is a notice of proposed action is issued. And that's when we have the 45-day comment period that begins. All of this will be open and on our website. It's nothing that's hidden. It will be available for the public so that people will know when it happens, so that participation can occur. But that is part of the rulemaking process.
Thank you.
Yvonne Chung would like to make a comment. Yvonne, your microphone.
Good afternoon. This is Yvonne Chung with the California Medical Association. CMA will be following the implementation of AB 890 closely. We do appreciate the board's willingness to work with stakeholders, and we would also encourage the BRN to work with the physician licensing boards, in addition to the work on the regulations, to also provide coordinated education and guidance to physician and surgeon licensees regarding supervision requirements of nurses, including nurse practitioners that were not impacted by AB 890, and the physician's legal responsibilities and duty of care when working with the new categories of NPs established pursuant to AB 890. We believe that patient safety and consumer protection must be a paramount priority in the implementation of this bill. We are encouraging the medical board to provide guidance on how the medical board views the role and responsibility of physicians under this new framework, to better understand the physician's duty of care and the potential liability risks created by this bill. Moreover, in light of the expanded functions that NPs can perform, we believe the medical board also has a responsibility to assess how the BRN's regulations will impact the practice of medicine and provide necessary information towards the licensees regarding appropriate supervision where required. We encourage the Board of Registered Nursing to consider holding an interested parties meeting with all stakeholders to proactively identify these issues that could impact the relationships between new categories of NPs, physicians, and their patients. And robust engagement on the implementation of AB 890 will further assist the licensing boards in educating and issuing guidance to its licensees on how the care provided by Section 103 and 104 NPs will impact the practice of medicine. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to working with you.
Cheryl Goldfarb Greenwood would like to comment. Cheryl,
Hi.
you're unmuted.
Thank you. Hi, this is Cheryl Goldfarb Greenwood. I'm a clinical nurse specialist and president of the California Association of Clinical Nurse Specialists. Thank you, Thelma, for the update. I am on the website. I see the flyer that's been posted for the advisory committees, and I have a question about the timeline. I see that clinical nurse specialist and certified nurse anesthetist advisory committees are already listed on the flyer, and I was wondering if you could give us some information about the timeline and how that will be implemented.
Lori, I think that's a question for you.
Yes, I just unmuted. Thank you, Thelma. We are still working on the process for the CNS and the CRNA, but we wanted to get the NP and the CNN stuff out immediately since that is a statutory requirement. And we are running up against a time frame to get it presented to the board meeting that is scheduled for December, and then up and working by January. So as soon as we have the other two advisory committees worked out, I will update the website and you'll have that as well.
Thank you. I'm sure that CACNS will be glad to consult and help to give support regarding these issues.
Alyssa Brown would like to make a comment. Alyssa?
Thank you very much, and thank everyone for the presentation. I'm just a bit surprised about the discussion of having a separate CRNA and a separate CNS advisory committee, and I don't know how that came to pass. And I would like someone to address that. Thank you.
Lori, are you available to address that question around the other committees, the other APRN committees? This is Thelma.
Well, that's not for,
Thank
that's
you,
not
Thelma.
one of the,
It's not a
agenda
part of the
topic.
agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not part of the agenda item.
I'm
so that's
sorry.
a quick comment.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Do we have any further comments or questions?
Chairperson Trujillo, there are no other requests for public comment. Would you like me to close the window?
Yes, I would. Thank you. So let's see. That there's no, well, we have to discuss item 4. Seeing as that was information only, there's no action needed. I believe this completes the report of the Legislative Committee. Do we go into closed session now?
Did we already discuss item 14?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that concludes your legislative report. We can move on to the next item on the agenda, which is item 15, which is the closed session item. So the board will convene in a closed session pursuant to Government Code Sections 111-26, C, Subdivision C3, deliberate on disciplinary matters, including stipulations and proposed decisions, and also 15.2, pending litigation. And after the closed session item, the board will open back up in open session, and we will adjourn the meeting. And there will not be a meeting for tomorrow. So right now we have to go into our phone call session.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All righty. See you all in closed session.
Welcome back, ma'am.
Yeah, you guys threw me off at the last comments. Okay, I'm back.
All right.
All right, we're moving on to the next agenda item. Item 16 adjourns the meeting, and we are adjourning, and there's no need to continue on for tomorrow. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I know we had to work overtime.
Yeah.
It'll be reflected in your next check for the board members.
Thank you. Everybody have a good evening.
Already have a good evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Not a nurse.